American man. No one pay attention to what's in my head. I got a voice inside that needs to be fed, causing chaos everywhere I land. I got a fever. I got a fever.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Ohio Sports Talk. I am your host, Doug. That's the coach, Jordan Maxson. Jordan, another kick in the teeth this weekend for our professional football teams. We're going to talk all about it, buddy. Ohio State continues to play good football. We will break down that game also. The Guardians, tough loss today. We'll talk about that. Talk about where the series goes from here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. We'll put some of the professional football emotions on the back burner. Had a great weekend. Got to send my daughter off to her first homecoming as a freshman. You and I, we got to spend some time at the Kings Island Hot. We nailed every ride. That's right, folks. We did it. We had our own ways. We nailed every ride. Screw that guy in a ghillie suit that got us we went strong for 2.5 hours, went through a scare zone, and I got caught. My reaction caused Doug's reaction, so Doug did not get shook. It was all me, so I will take the credit for that one. But other than that, it was great. We had a great Saturday. We saw some great losses, in a Big Ten. Michigan losing always makes us happy. So a lot of upsets this weekend. A lot of upsets this weekend in college football. So I was happy to see that shake up. We ended our Saturday night on a lot of fun. Started my Sunday with some brunch with my daughter. Then it all went downhill from there. So that's where we're at, and that's where we'll dive in. So
yeah, Jordan, just a little quick recap here. You and I went to Kings Island this weekend. It was great. You know what? For whatever 3-4 hours, however long we were there, we didn't have the kids, we didn't have the responsibilities. We got to feel like we were, 18 again, just hanging out and just enjoying the roller coasters and all that stuff. The riding Diamondback 3 times straight and then making the trek over to Orion to ride that twice was a fantastic end of the night. So again, buddy, I appreciate us getting to do that together. And it was a great end of the night, a really fun Saturday. Woke up sore as hell. I'll tell you, man, those rides, the ribs were shot, the thighs were shot from all the walking, but a great night. And then Sunday we get kicked in the mouth by both of our teams. Let's get into it, Jordan. Let's start off with your team this week. The Cincinnati Bengals, the OT loss to the Ravens, excuse me. It was tough yesterday. The emotions are high, all that stuff's going on. You're angry, you're upset. You expect your team to do more. Then you have the 24 hours. What are your emotions right now, Jordan? Because obviously the record 1-4 looks really bad.
Yes.
But I think there's still some positives for your team that don't make me feel like it's the same 1-4 as maybe the Cleveland Browns. So what are your thoughts after 24 hours?
Well, if I take my fan goggles off and look at it from an analyst standpoint, like you touched on greatly there's a lot of good in this team still. So the offensive line continues to play great. We didn't hit that 100-yard mark for rushing for the first time in 2 games, but we hit milestones for the season when it came to passing. Yep. And that's the big one. Seeing our starting right tackle, get hurt for a couple plays. Cody Ford came in and was serviceable. That makes me a little bit confident in the O-line depth. When he went out, I was in total 110% panic mode. Sorry, folks, We're going through a little bit of technical difficulty on Doug's side, but we can still rock it. But to the fans and stuff like that, we're going to keep pushing. He'll be back shortly. But there's a lot of positives there. When it came to offensive play calling, the running backs, even though they didn't have a great day when it came to rushing, were really important. There was a drive where Brown had a 14-yard carry, and then it was followed by Zach Moss's 16-yard screen pass. So to see those two still work together in tandem was great. See them both get out in space, both the interior of the line on the left and right side when it came to the guard play. PFF rated them over 67 and above. So that's some consistency there. I was really happy to see those guys, start to gel together. Pass protection, we just tore them up all day. Joe Burrow said he had to play a damn near perfect game, and he damn near did. So, they had that one interception, but Jamar Chase, he took a lot of responsibility for that interception. He said he kind of he said he ran a shitty route. So, it was nice to see some accountability there.
Everybody was accountable but your coach, Jordan.
Everybody, we're getting to that.
I know. I'm sorry.
We're covering the good. No. You're diving right into it. We're covering the good. I do this Clint Eastwood style. We're going to go to the bad. The defense in the second half. The second half defense. I would love to see what the Baltimore Ravens, if they made an adjustment to what Lou Amarillo and what the Bengals defensive line was doing, because in the second half it was kind of inexcusable. They couldn't get off the field. Terrible communication. I'm just going to call them out by name. Cam Taylor-Britt giving up one of the laziest touchdown coverages I've ever seen in my life.
He played a good game up to that point, too.
And up to that point, everybody was on point defensively. Yeah. All things considering, the Ravens are going to come out and they're going to do their thing. They're going to score some points. Sure. Nobody expected them not to have some success. But in the second half there, you can't pass off coverage when it's not in a true zone. And it wasn't even a motion, Douglas. It was just a straight up, almost a dig route or a mesh route, depending on, what offensive scheme.
He completely lost the receiver going across the field. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm with you there because, I think I texted you and I was like, whoa, what just happened with 29?
Yeah.
Cam Taylor-Britt, obviously. And yeah, he would just completely lost the receiver. Easy walk-in touchdown that could have at least been contested.
Right. And or in my mind, with the way they were playing up to that point, defended, because that would have been the next play would have been a fourth down play, Douglas. So this was on a third and critical in the red zone. So that was really kind of disturbing to see. We lost Dax Hill. That was a big black eye. Jordan Battle did not look serviceable in the cornerback position early. I'm sure he's going to make an adjustment. Mike Hilton's expected to come back this week, so we'll have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to the cornerback depth piece. So we'll see where that lands us. But other than that, just the coverage. The run defense was great and stout. BJ Hill was an instant upgrade and impact. Coming off injury, he had 3 tackles for loss. 2 of them, were straight up man-to-man on Derrick Henry. He's kind of had Derrick Henry's number even in his Tennessee days, so it was nice to see B.J. Hill step up. Sam Hubbard had a monster first half. He was accredited with that safety. He was accredited with a sack, and he was credited with 2 tackles for losses outside of the sack. So even if you want to say, he kind of ran out of gas at the end of the game, he still had a great performance. So that was kind of good, but everything else in the secondary was just bad, Doug. We didn't have any safety help. Lou was rushing Geno Stone from the edge.
He was. So, I kind of like that mix, him trying to mix it up, though.
I enjoyed it, but when we have Von Bell back there for, having the responsibility for the deep man and his advanced age, which we touched on in the last episode, it turned out disastrous. So why we wouldn't switch, Von Bell inside the slot corner and move Jordan Battle back, a much younger and faster man. He clocked in a 4.40 when it came to the combine. So Jordan Battle has some speed. So it was really disappointing to see us not make that adjustment when it came to somebody having the responsibility of the deepest man. But
so Jordan, let me ask you this then: at what point did you feel like the defense? Because for a while there, you guys, Derrick Henry had the early touchdown. He ended up with 92 yards, 6 yards of carry, but it never felt like they were really, crushing you guys early. But then the floodgates opened against the secondary in that second half. Baltimore scored, let's see, what is that? 27 points in the second half. You guys scored 21, but it really felt like the defense took a step back in that second half, and it just feels like the second half adjustment never came. Quick shout out, Wendy said behave, the Bearded Browns. They don't like sports either. So, but what was that turning point for you, Jordan?
It had to be late in the third quarter, Doug, because the Bengals possessed the ball for over 6 minutes on their first scoring drive in the third quarter. And that's a lot of time for the defense to rest. They got to rest before the half, and they got to rest during that opening drive. So in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, that defensive line, they're going to come out, they're going to come energized. And then, bam, we gave up 72 yards in 6 plays, about 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Like it was fast. Lamar Jackson carved up, like you said, the secondary. But then I'm thinking, okay, so they weren't on the field that long. Then we responded with a 70+ yarder one play. I think it was like 72 yards for Jamar Chase's deep touchdown.
Yes.
We responded with our own left hook. So I'm sitting here thinking, all right, so the defense has got to get their track on. And Doug, they never did. They never got to him. There were plays that, Lamar put them in the blender and does what Lamar does best.
That fake shimmy he had where he's getting trailed by 2 defenders and he fakes back this way, and they both that was so disgusting.
That was disgusting.
I know you guys, you just lost to him, but sometimes that guy feels like it's an out-of-body experience.
Oh, it is.
And let's transition, Jordan, because I want to talk about the fourth quarter and then the overtime, because we need to get to that because
you're absolutely right.
Let's talk about the fumble. You guys get the Lamar fumble, the play calling after the fumble. Let's talk about that, because some people like you giving it to your best players, put it in your best player, or not letting Joe Burrow make big plays there. You guys set up a long field goal. So let's hear your thoughts on where the play calling to close out that game and the long missed field goal by Evan McPherson.
Right. Well, we'll fast forward defensively. It looked like it was coming back apart again. We lost the coin toss. And you know how that goes when it comes to overtime. I think it's like 85% of the time, whoever wins the coin toss takes away the game, is what the announcers were talking about. But, we finally get the mistake. We finally get that one Baltimore Ravens big time mistake. The crowd's hyped up. He's clapping. The play clock is going to 0. The ball is snapped. He doesn't get a hold of it. Our defensive line, which battled their asses off, Douglas, that was not the only shining thing. But because, like you said, Derrick Henry had 90-something yards, but 50 of it came on one play in overtime.
For sure.
So up to that point, those guys battled their asses off.
They were pretty defeated after that.
And I would be too, Doug. I would be too. And that's where I didn't flip out on a defensive line. But we get that play, and it just doesn't make sense. This is one of those moments where you got to make it make sense. Joe Burrow carved up that defense, the number 1 defense in NFL, Douglas, overall, the number 3 defense in the pass, all day long. We get the turnover. Finally, momentum goes our way.
Yep.
And the run game, which was non-existent for us outside of a few pops in the second quarter, nothing. And that's okay, because they're the number 1 run defense in the NFL, Doug. So that's okay. But then we come out and we take the ball. We pay this man almost $50 million a year, and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and even the tight end rooms are having a day. Even our third, Yoshi, had a sweet 26-yard catch.
39 yards.
Pivotal. 39. I apologize to the fans.
No, but I'm just saying.
39
great catch.
So we have all the weapons in the world to come out and make this a manageable field goal. And we run it? Doug, that doesn't – there is
cowardly.
No coach in America on any league, from little league to high school to college to pros to the AFL, that would sit there and think, let me, after throwing for 300+ yards and 5 touchdowns, run the ball 3 straight times and make it a 50-yarder is not guaranteed. Now, it happens a lot in the NFL. The kickers are unbelievable these days.
Yeah.
But, Doug, in a divisional game where you've carved up this defense outside of one mistake that everybody knew the route was off. It was just miscommunication. You don't take it out of Joe Burrow's hands. You don't do it. The offensive line was fine and not giving up too many sacks. But, God, it just doesn't make sense. And then the blame to say it was Joe Burrow called the run. No, absolutely not. That is not – there is nobody can pay me enough to believe that. Doug,
I don't think Joe Burrow would take the ball out of his own hands. I don't believe it.
No.
I don't believe Joe Burrow would take the ball out of his own hands.
No.
Okay, so Evan McPherson misses the long field goal, Jordan. Evan McPherson misses the long field goal. The defense has to come right back out after 3 quick runs. Like you said, the run game, Chase Brown, 12 for 46. That's 3.5 yards a carry. Zach Moss, 9 for 24, 2.7 yards a carry. You guys only ended up with 70 rushing yards. It wasn't working. Joe Burrow was playing at an MVP level all day, except for one miscommunication where Humphrey made a great play in his own right. And Joe, it was a timing route. So Joe was throwing it either way. He expects Jamar Chase to make that play. I get it. That happens. But you don't take your franchise quarterback, your 2 studs who yesterday looked like this. Hey, this is what we wanted. This is what it always could look like. T. Higgins was phenomenal yesterday. Jamar Chase, unreal. You don't. Gesicki, solid. Eric All, solid. Even the running backs are decent out of the pass game. Yoshi's a hell of a third option you can trust. And then you just kind of kick the can down the line and waste a little bit of time. And then the Ravens, they break the big run and it's over, Jordan. It was really hard to watch that last sequence. Sequence of the game. I thought you guys battled your asses off. You played one of the best teams in the league. I don't give a shit about the records. You guys match up really well with the Ravens. That's why, Jordan, I'm not going to put the panic meter up to anything above a 5 for you guys. You're 1-4. I feel like as talented as your offense is, you can beat a lot of teams in this league. The problem, Jordan, is the same problem it's got to be. The defense has to be serviceable. And they were serviceable yesterday, and you could have won that game. Where do you want to go from here? Because, on Thursday, we talk about it again. You got the Giants on Sunday night. Big game.
I'll say this. I know we had the run. I know we have some playoff wins. But Zach Taylor's regular season record is 43-50-1 for this squad.
Well, to be fair, you guys tanked the first year. But come on, if you don't lose those games, you never get Joe Burrow.
I get that, but I mean, you could have said that in a Marvin Lewis era. Marvin Lewis started 8-8.
Who did you guys tank? Who'd you guys tank for in the Marvin Lewis era? You didn't tank like that.
No, but he started.
No. I'm not going to buy that one. I'm not going to let you get with that one.
Palmer held a clipboard, so we could have tanked that first year. John Kitna went 8-8.
So he didn't tank. So you guys never have tanked.
Carson Palmer went 8-8, and then Carson Palmer went 11-5 in year 3. So
Carson Palmer was borderline a phenom.
I'm just saying it's time to start thinking outside the coaching realm. It's time to start looking somewhere else. In my opinion, that's if I'm ownership, it's time to make it clear that Zach Taylor's days are numbered based on performance, and I would hope that he would finally give up 100% of the play calling. I think that's what's killing us. We hired internally for an offensive coordinator, which I didn't agree with because I felt like we didn't bring an outside guy in because Zach Taylor still has play calling abilities and still has the ability to, trump whatever's coming down from the box. And I hate that because that to me feels like we're handcuffing our offense. And then we get shit like this where it's 3 runs in a row because I felt like he wanted to play it safe instead of your franchise quarterback and your 2 stud receivers who have had a monster career day for all 3 of them take over the game. I would have let it see whatever happens, Doug. If we drop back and he throws a pick downfield, then guess what? You still flip the field.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of time left. It just didn't make sense. So I think Zach Taylor's days are numbered as a head coach, and I would like to see him relinquish play calling. That's where I would go.
Okay.
Because
Jordan,
I don't
let's
think
stop there. Let's stop there.
Okay.
We have a lot to talk about on Thursday. You have a
I know.
massive game against the Giants. We called this last weekend a must-win. You lose to the Giants in New York, it's probably over this year in terms of making the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a huge, huge game. You guys should beat the Giants. We will talk about it more in depth Thursday.
Yes.
We understand there's a lot more we can unpack. Well, let's keep it moving because we have to talk about these effing losers up in Cleveland. Let's transition, Jordan. The Browns absolutely get punked by the Commanders, demoralized by the Commanders. I'm looking at mock drafts, Jordan. I'm looking at what quarterbacks are available. I'm trying to see what's our next move. It was really bad on Sunday, Jordan. I've seen just about enough. I'm fed up. I think Kevin Stefanski is an okay coach, but he is letting Deshaun Watson torpedo his season and potentially his career in Cleveland. I do believe if Kevin Stefanski got fired, he would be one of the top head coaching candidates available. But you cannot sit there and let someone tank your career. And if the ownership, Haslam, if he's deciding that Watson's going to keep playing quarterback for this team, that fucking guy can kick rocks too. You're wasting years of your players' primes. Myles Garrett, Amari Cooper is probably getting traded. You're wasting career years of your team's career. It's not working, Jordan. It's very apparent to me that Deshaun Watson will never get it back. Is he playing behind a shitty O-line? Yeah, Jordan, he is. Is he playing with receivers who aren't doing their jobs? Yeah, he is. But he sets up the Browns in terrible, terrible positions routinely. These Watson defenders, they want to do all this. No, he is the quarterback of the franchise, and he is not getting it done. When people are going on TV and saying they wouldn't mind if this guy got arrested for bad quarterback play, it's pretty damn bad. I don't like Stephen A., but that was a good line. He is playing historically bad football. Two of our 5 games this year are some of the worst games ever played by a quarterback in terms of rating. It's all-time bad, Jordan. He can't read the field anymore. He's not seeing it. He should have had at least another pass intercepted on Sunday. He threw it into double coverage. It made no sense. It was all bad, Jordan. I'm at the point where I don't want Nick Chubb to come back because I don't want to waste his legs, Jordan. I don't want him to have to play for this bad of a team and potentially get hurt again and waste more time in his career. That's how bad this is. 1-4. I expect it to continue, the losing to continue, Jordan. I don't know how it's going to get better until Kevin Stefanski stops saying, we have to play better as a team. How about some fucking accountability from you and make a move from quarterback, Jordan? It's not working. We don't need to watch Deshaun Watson play quarterback anymore this year.
No.
I understand the investment is incredible.
Right.
It might be time to eat the money, Jordan. It might be time to eat the money and just deal with what happened. Like similar to what Denver did. Yes. They're eating the money and they made their quarterback change to Bo Nix. I think there's a good enough quarterback class this year to make a similar move. And you know what? Deshaun Watson fleeced them. It was the worst trade in NFL history. That's on us. Andrew Berry, his draft history, people are pulling it up. They're pulling up the receipts on this guy. He has not got it done consistently. His job's on the line too, in my opinion. We've got a lot of questions going forward. I think Mike Vrabel should come in and at least be the defensive coordinator next year, or if not, the head coach. Something massive has to change. There has to be accountability in Cleveland. There has been none, Jordan. What are your thoughts? I don't even want to break down the actual game because it was that bad. So let's just talk about Cleveland in general. It was that bad that there's not enough good football to even talk about. Jaden Daniels looks like a star. That kid can play, and he can play at a high level. Go ahead. Sorry.
If we're just going to hit on a little bit of things there,
Man.
Walking off the field on 4th and goal.
There's context to that, but yes.
There
was 12 men on the field.
There's and
it would have been a penalty.
But you still had timeouts.
Yeah, but why waste the timeout at that point?
Because when things are already
it was over either way. You're right. It was over either way.
I get it. I would have took the timeout because at that point you still need to score points. But
fuck.
But just the body language. I'll say there was context to it, and I'm glad you pointed it out because the clip doesn't show the full context. So hats off to you for not just going for the media clip, but it, like you said, there's got to be a fundamental change from the coaching staff.
We've got two rushing touchdowns this year, Jordan.
The players look defeated. And
they look uninterested. They look defeated and uninterested, and there is no accountability. Continue.
That's really all I have to say because we made the prediction on Thursday, and Doug, I didn't predict them to be terrible. I thought at least the Cleveland defense, and I know Ward. I don't know what quarter, so I apologize. I know Ward went out. I know
after he went out, they had a field day on that secondary.
In-time game injuries, happened. So there's some things there that you can take from the positives. The
positive is, Jordan, we have one corner who's even respectable. Martin Emerson cannot play corner next week. He cannot be out there anymore. I don't know what happened to him in the offseason, but that guy is getting routinely embarrassed on the field. Denzel Ward is the only guy you can trust in the secondary right now. Grant Delpit, sure. There are two guys in the secondary we can trust right now. It's really bad. Martin Anderson is chicken. If they see him on man coverage, somebody's going deep because this motherfucker can't run. And I'm sorry that's the last one I'm going to use, but that dude cannot run stride for stride with a receiver. Ricky Logan, who could have foreshadowed Watson being this bad? I don't know, dude. I was excited. I thought that not taking the hits and things like that would be a good thing. But I guess that time off I guess he just wasn't playing football at all. I guess he wasn't, watching film or doing anything because he's completely lost what he was in Houston. It is never coming back. Our friend over Keith, our resident Penn State fan, Cincy will be fine. A lot of season left. You'll destroy the Giants. I'd rather be 4-1 with a great QB and a great offense than being 3-2. Yikes. I don't know about that, Keith. I appreciate your insight. They have time to turn it around, but at the same time, screw the Bengals. Jordan, I don't want to dwell on the Browns anymore because I'm just going to get more and more upset. Like I told you, we have 2 rushing touchdowns as a team.
Well, talk about a positive. What quarterback would excite you coming out of the draft? And we'll touch on it more Thursday. But just give me like a quick cliff note.
Okay, so
top 2, top 3. Who makes you excited? So let's end you on a high note.
You know who would be exciting is Shedeur Sanders if he didn't have everything around him. His talent is exciting. His ability is exciting. He's not going to come to Cleveland. His dad won't let him. He won't come to Cleveland. That's fine. Oh, well. Jalen Milroe from Bama, I think, would be a fun option at quarterback because of his ability to run and the RPOs, similar to what Lamar does, a little more physical type runs. But the RPO with him and Chubb, I think, would be excellent. And I'm still under the impression that Quinn Ewers, I think, could be a good NFL starting quarterback. So I would say Milroe and Ewers are my top guys right now. Cam Ward is on a lot of people's minds. I don't think Cam Ward has been great recently, and I don't think he was great at Washington State.
Right.
Take that for what it is. Miami is still playing, and they're still winning games. But, Jordan, I don't want to talk about the Browns anymore. It's upsetting.
We ended on a high note. Let's transition. Let's go to Happyville.
Let's talk Ohio State Buckeyes, Jordan. In the picture behind us, there is another insane one-handed catch by Jeremiah Smith. Jordan, I'm going to come out and say it. He might be the most talented receiver I've ever seen put on a jersey at Ohio State. And we've seen a lot of good ones, Jordan. What are your thoughts on that statement right there?
I'm not ready for that statement, Doug. He's in
This
my
is
top
day
three.
one, Jordan. Day
I
one.
know. I
Marvin
know.
Harrison didn't get on the field day one. This kid would be on the field when we had anybody. He's that good.
I gotta see more because
Okay.
I still and we talked in the summertime. I can't put him ahead of Ted Ginn just yet. But he, like I said, top 2 to 3. He's definitely right there. But Ted Ginn holds a very special plate in my
That's fair.
heart as a fan. But he's Doug. I'm splitting atoms. If you've seen Oppenheimer, we're splitting atoms here. It's a very fine line. So
Yeah.
I'm right there. I love the statement. I think the bet. I don't think he's at his ceiling yet.
No.
So that should scare the rest of the NCAA and the Big Ten that this kid is just now breaking in to an offensive play calling for being in the Big Ten. So yes, I definitely think he's in my top 2 to 3 right now. Maybe by the end of the season I can say he takes that Ted Ginn spot, but we'll see. But hit me with the rest of the thoughts on the game, and I'll dive right in right after you.
So my next thoughts are the defense, Jordan. We heard all week that Iowa was going to run the ball, and kick our butts up, control the ball, that kind of stuff. Well, Jordan, besides that, that garbage time stuff from Caleb Johnson where he had the touchdown on the 28-yard run, the Browns did an excellent job. Besides that garbage time touchdown that run.
Folks, the Buckeyes.
Sorry, the Buckeyes. We kept them under 100 yards rushing minus that late run that didn't really have any significance to the game. Cade McNamara was never comfortable in the pocket. The defense was really good, forcing turnovers again, Jordan. We had tackles for loss. We had sacks. JTT and Jack Sawyer did a great job. I mean, the defensive front looked like they're ready for Oregon this week, Jordan. I liked the way the upfront guys play. It looked like they were locked in, ready to go. And if they can play like that going forward, Jordan, the sky's the limit, buddy. What were your thoughts? Because it was a dominating performance. 7-0 at half, sure. But Iowa didn't do anything. They weren't doing anything. The fumble by Jeremiah Smith killed a drive. Will Howard killed a drive with a bad mistake. It could have been 21-0 at half, Jordan. By all accounts. We stretch out the lead 35-7. We keep the show on the road. What did you like, buddy?
Well, Doug, I'll go offensively against Iowa's defense. Chip Kelly amassed 205 yards on the ground as a team. So rushing the ball, Douglas, against a proven defensive front, and most of those guys are going to find their ways to Sunday. So we should be absolutely ecstatic that we have the run game going for both Judkins and Henderson. This is good news. I said on the last show, on Thursday's show, the passing game is eventually going to take care of itself. Abuka absolutely answered the bell with three touchdowns. That was a career high for him for a single game. So, hats off to the senior who stuck around one more year to take care of business. Thrilled that he did, because he kind of really bailed. I won't say bailed us out, but he stepped up when he had to. Yeah. They started doubling Smith, and it left Abuka on an island, and he had a absolute field day. So,
for sure.
Big time props. But Douglas, the running game is what got me excited. We cracked the over 200 yards on a defense that a lot of people, thought we were going to cover between 100 to 120. So to see us go above the expectations on the ground got me super excited. The offensive line looks in tune. Everybody looks pretty damn good against that defensive front, and I'm happy. And what you touched on, to piggyback on you, the defense was my worry going into this. And the defensive line absolutely stepped up, shut down one of the best running backs in the country when it comes to college ball. I have him in the top 3 to top 5. He could be a little bit lower, maybe higher, depending on how you want to grade him. But, he's definitely finding his ways to Sundays as well. So, to keep a running back like that down, like you said, they got some yards during trash time. So I'm not really worried about that. We look prime, Doug. Yeah. If you cut away those 2 turnovers, like you said, we're going into half 21-0. It's another steamroller. We're not really, as nervous as you and I were texting back and forth at half. I think those mistakes, Smith is not going to do that again. I think he's learned his lesson.
Freshman mistake, not protecting the ball because you don't think about the guy behind you. That's just a freshman mistake. He's learned his lesson right there.
Yes. Will Howard has me worried, Doug, because it's 3 straight games with an interception.
Yeah.
It's got me worried, but then again, he made up for it with his legs in the second half. He made a lot smarter decisions. You saw him throwing the ball away. You saw him making plays with his legs, extending it, just tucking the ball down and giving what the defense, was giving up, especially when they went to that zone late in the third. So I think it was kind of learning for him because, again, we had never seen a defense like that. So we can kind of give some wiggle room there for Will Howard. But Douglas, this was a complete win from top to bottom. Special teams look good. The play calling on the defense looked great. Jack Sawyer and JTT got it done. So, Thursday we'll touch on the big one. But, to put a bow on this game for me, Doug, it was a complete game from top to bottom. The second half, we got it. We started steamrolling. The offense got it together, and the defense shined. So I am confident in this week's game. We'll touch on it and dive into it hard on Thursday. But, I'll pass it off to you, Doug. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah. This. Oregon and Ohio State, the first time they're going to meet up, is the number 2 team in the country facing the number 3 team in the country. It's a massive, massive game. I am so excited for this game. I have that nervous energy, that big-time feel, because Oregon wants to take our spot, Jordan. Oregon wants to come in. They want to be Ohio State. They want to be this team that is, every year we're these guys that are contending for the national championship. Oregon is becoming one of those teams. I am beyond excited for this matchup, Jordan. But here's the thing. It's, we got to go out and hunt some ducks, buddy. We've got to go out and hunt some ducks. We've got to show up. We've got to be physical. We have the athletes to match up, but it's going to matter up front. Can our D-line create havoc? Can our O-line give time? Can they create the holes? I cannot wait to talk about this game on Thursday, Jordan.
Yes.
Oregon, Ohio State will both be in the playoff per Sports with a Score. Shout out to Tyler McGurk. They will be. But this matters to me. I want to win the Big Ten championship, and I want to beat Oregon and prove a point that we're ready, and we're gonna kick a lot of ass this year. So Thursday, we're going to talk Oregon versus Ohio State. That we're going to lead off the show with that because that is the game of the weekend for us. I know you guys have the Sunday night game. I know we have another game against the Eagles. Whatever. Oregon versus Ohio State is the game I am most looking forward to this weekend. Thursday, Jordan, I cannot wait to break down this game. I am beyond excited. Let's transition, buddy. Let's talk a little Guardians before we get out of here today. Let's make it quick because I gotta hit the road. Jordan, Guardians lose one today. They gave up the 9th inning home run. That's a tough way to go in an extremely, extremely close game. How are you feeling? 1-1 right now. It's best of 3 going forward. What are your thoughts?
And Doug, if we replay my clip from our last episode on Thursday, I said the Guardians were going to take game 1, and the Tigers were going to take game 2.
Yep.
But I still have the Guardians winning 5. So I'm not hitting the panic button. The Tigers are there for a reason. I resonated that in the last episode, so I'll kind of echo that tonight. The Guardians are okay, folks. You come out with that, homestand energy. They had the time off. The rust didn't affect them, and they showed it. Game 2, the Tigers, they're coming out with a little bit more grit, and that's kind of what it came down to. The Guardians bullpen was holding strong up until then, which you touched on, but they never really found it offensively. So I don't foresee them doing that 2 games in a row, Doug. We'll see game 3. I think the Guardians are going to win it 5-3 in game 3. That's my prediction. We'll touch more on it on Thursday. No, we won't. The game will be in the books by then.
We'll recap the game. We'll recap the game on Thursday. But Jordan, let me give you a quick stat. The closer for the Guardians, Emmanuel Class, had not given up a run since August 30th. And he led, this dude is the best closer in baseball, 47 saves. And they caught him. That happens. And I expect him to come back, and I expect him to close the door in game 3. I expect him to go back out there, close the door. Guardians win game 3, and we're talking about a potential series ender in game 4. I'm still high on the Guardians. Their offense didn't get clicking today. It was a good pitching performance from the Tigers also. Guardians have they have Alex Cobb going on, what is that, Wednesday night? He'll be the starter. Big game, Jordan. I'm excited to watch that game on Wednesday night. We don't have anything going on. We don't have anything going on sports-wise. We're going to be locked into that game on Wednesday night, and we'll be back on Thursday to recap that game for you. Fun series so far, Jordan. Guardians 7-0, Tigers 3-0, 1-1. It's been a fun playoff so far in terms of baseball. Anything else you want to touch on, buddy, before we get out of here? We've gone 40 minutes. We've had a great show, a lot of energy. I could have really bogged us down with Browns talk. I could have really depressed everybody by just harping on that. 85 live viewers. Thank you for showing up for us on a Monday night. We know Monday Night Football's on. We know a lot's going on. Thank you to everybody in the comments. Jordan, you got anything for us before we get out of here, though?
FC Cincinnati continues to suck.
God.
They dropped one. We tracked the game when we were at Kings Island. I didn't watch it, so I'm not going to make any excuses for them today. I hope they get their shit together going to the playoffs. We'll cover it. We'll touch more on it on Thursday, but that was really sad to see. UC Bearcats are back in action next Saturday. We'll touch it. They have the week off. We'll touch it
on it Thursday. Yeah.
Yep. And Douglas, that about wraps it up here for Ohio Sports Talk tonight.
All right, guys. Well, that's been Ohio Sports Talk. We appreciate every single one of you who commented, who viewed, who liked, all that kind of stuff. If you could retweet the show, that means a lot to us. If you could check out our YouTube, Ohio Sports Talk, hit that subscribe button. Check out the full show over there. Jordan, I appreciate you, buddy. Great show tonight. Love the energy. We're back at it Thursday night at 9:15. We're going to try to do it even better than we did it tonight. I'm Doug. That's the coach, Jordan Maxson. See you Thursday. Bye.